Hey everybody, welcome to a different style of quarantine edition videos. I'm gonna actually try to just talk while I work and maybe throw some B-roll footage over what I'm doing to kind of try to explain some of the steps of how I got this far. We're trying to use some interesting, to say the least, vinyl wrap and trying to add some color and some texture to the kind of the gray spots on the truck. Having some mixed results. This is not going to be the same videos of how everything works out great. But we're going to give it a shot. We're going to run it for a while, and then you'll probably see in some future videos, all of this stuff will probably be gone. But who knows? Maybe you can get some better materials or do a better job than me, and maybe you can get yours to last longer. We'll see. I don't know, I'm kind of pessimistic right now. But so yeah, we're putting on this vinyl wrap, and we've already gotten a pretty far ways along. Actually, I'm pretty happy with how these flat pieces turned out, the trim. Where you get a lot of contours and stuff where you start to kind of have bubbling and cracking issues. To me, I'm gonna blame the wrap because like I said, I've used the wrap in my previous videos. You saw doing the window, the side mirrors. You saw the center caps for the wheels. That kind of wrap was the traditional style where things are really stretchy and it could wrap around things. It was really easy to get around contours and curves and stuff. This stuff, not stretchy at all. Here's a portion that doesn't have the paper, and you can't stretch that. So, needless to say, once I discovered that, I knew I was gonna have problems. I'm sure this stuff is great for just flat surfaces, like resurfacing a countertop or something, but not so much for the automotive detailing. Even in the picture of the material, which I'll link in the description, shows that they, center console and the center shifter and everything. Not so much. So we'll do the best we can. I'll kind of share my tips and tricks, but I think, in my limited experience with vinyl wrap, the lesson to be taken away here is that some wraps that aren't super stretchy are not going to do very well at this. But we'll see if anything I've learned from the first ones can help me with this one. So a couple of things, for this one, as you can see, I'm just directly putting it on. I'm going to be cutting around the details and the contours. I would rather not do it this way because it leaves a harsh edge and it can peel away. With all the other jobs, all the other ones I did in the past, I was able to wrap around, and what that actually gives you is a cleaner edge, and with the wrapping around a corner, you're going to get a better hold. It's not just going to want to peel back right away. So, taking the plastic trim off here, I did a bunch of research, and there is a little plate here that pops off, and I don't want to take it all the way off, but there's some bolts there. But you're talking about removing the airbag and stuff like that, which if you're ever going to attempt to remove the airbag, I'd definitely pull the battery or connector from the battery so that doesn't blow up in your face if you do something wrong. But that just seemed like way too much risk for this, and I've kind of slowly started to realize how this isn't going to be quite as pretty as I want it. So yeah, I was just going to go for this quick dirty way, see how far we get. But anyway, for this piece, I did manage to take that off. There's another YouTuber that does Chevy videos, Lee Man Griffin. I'll give him a shout out here. I'll link his description to his channel as well, where he pops it off. He's got some good tools. I can link a description. I bought some tools as well for removing trim pieces. But I've got some B-roll footage that I'll throw over this talk here about some key spots to pop that out. You know, just working really careful, starting from the bottom. And, you know, kind of knowing where the lifting points are, where it's connected is helpful to as far as popping that off. But, you know, like I said, shout out to him for figuring that out first. I felt a lot more confident putting a little more force behind things after watching that. So, you know, hopefully my video can show you those kind of maybe a different camera angle than what he does, or like I said, a combination of the two. Same thing with the panels here. You know, again, I've got some B-roll footage I'll throw over this where these pop out. You know, a couple points. In the video, he also shows you, and I'll show you in mine, there is a plastic tab that goes into the armrest. So make sure you know where that is, and don't pry too much pressure in the wrong spot. There is no tabs like that in this. If you do have the center console, the bucket seats, those will just pull straight out. So less to worry about there. But anyway, back to the steering wheel here. The one thing that I'm kind of maybe, I don't know if it's a thing that other people do or if it's just the nature of this material. I'm using my fingernail to actually carve where these crisp edges are. And it's kind of nice to do this one at a time so you can kind of look at the other side for reference. Eventually here I need to start doing some trimming. Get this material a little more malleable. So like I said, I've actually got my fingernail to perforate it or cut it, but let's see, where did I put it? Here we go. I'm afraid to use a knife because I don't want to cut into my plastic or something, especially when I'm not super sold on the whole thing anyway. If I knew I was never going to take this off and this looked amazing and it was holding well, I'd be a little less worried about what was happening underneath. But like most of my videos, I kind of consider if I were to ever want to sell the thing, to not wreck it too much. Let's see, so where does that line start? I think it's right there. Nope, that is definitely not it. Okay, so that's the top edge right there. So this area with the wrapping around here, I didn't do that good of a job on this side. So I want to make sure I give myself a little extra. But maybe I did bring a knife for areas I felt pretty confident on. If not punching into my steering wheel. So right now my finger's on the other side, kind of just hugging the steering wheel to make sure I don't stab into the leather. So now I want to figure out this line here. So kind of the thing that I've learned the most about this is that I think I definitely would want to use a vinyl wrap that was more stretchy. And I know carbon fiber seems to be the real popular option for doing a lot of this stuff, and I kind of wanted to try something else just because I've seen it so many times. But I've seen plenty of carbon fiber vinyl wraps that are stretchy. You know, you'd think you'd want to be kind of with anything with a texture. You know, you wouldn't want to distort it a bunch. So it's kind of it makes sense why this isn't stretchy. But you know, the carbon fiber ones being stretchy, you wouldn't want to distort that too much either, but I think that tighter, smaller, more repeated pattern, you can get away with it a little easier, I think. So use my fingernail a little bit in here too. So first using my fingernail to kind of find it and make the kind of the tracing. Sometimes your fingernail actually gets it done. Well, sometimes this shows a lot of potential, so who knows, maybe you try a different brand, or just really like the lighter colored wood look. And the nice part about using a gas card in my case is that it is kind of actually pushing, when it cuts, it's pressing down inside the crack and then cutting it deeper, so it'll make the edge look nicer. Pushes it down in there. Okay, now how does this edge look? Oh dear, a little further to go. So again, can I use my fingernail as the reference? Okay, getting there. So now let's go wrap around down here. I'm gonna have to get the knife out again for this part. Okay, so some pushing and do to get it nice around those edges. And this, as far as where you cut, where you don't cut, with it wrapping around the curve, is pretty tough because you do have some space to get back there. Okay, so that starts hugging that edge a little nicer. You can tell that it just wants to tear. So heat gun. In the other videos, or for the other pieces, I brought in a heat gun and was using that quite a bit to try to soften the material up. And it does help. But I've got the doors closed and I'm outside my truck right now and it's pretty toasty in here, so with this material I don't think I'm going to get too much more of an advantage with that. Yeah. So a little bit of cutting and cleanup to do right here. Can I get away with using the combination of it actually pushing in there, which is kind of what I would have liked if it was detached, to make an edge just for look and for hold. Now, same thing down here. That'll probably be an edge that gets cut, yeah. So now there's a little bit of an edge down here on the inside. Yeah, with the wrap coming around like this, there's just not enough wrap and it doesn't stretch, so you end up getting a little bit of tearing. That sucks. Okay, knife time. Get the knife right in that seam so I don't cut anything. Started it. Okay. Well, so, you know, I got some work to do cleaning up the edges and things, trying to do some little bit of tucking and some work here. But overall, yeah. I mean, I love the color scheme, you know, the having with the just everything just black, 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 and black to do carbon fiber, I think would just be, you know, just more black, you know. So I really like the light color, you know, from just kind of just giving it a casual look. It looks okay, but in a closer review, there's a lot to be desired here. You know, so takeaway would probably be try to find a different material that is actually stretchy. You know, maybe down the road I'll do some more experimenting, see if I can find something, but I'm a little doubtful to actually get that nice texture, like a picture texture. You know, you're not going to get something like that that can stretch. So it'll be interesting to find something in the future down the middle of the road. But, you know, like I said, these can easily be popped off and you can do some good wrapping, you know, with some, you know, material. This one, I'm pretty confident. Everything I've seen, you're just going to want to just like kind of do what I did. Hopefully kind of follow some of those, you know, use your fingernail to find the patterns. But anyway, that's it. This is probably, you know, some of the, as far as my favorite mods go, this one's a little bit to be desired, but a good learning experience. Like I said, knowing how to take some stuff off, knowing what can come off and where is going to be useful. And like I said, if I do discover some material down the road, I'll be sure to give this another go. So thanks for following along. Hopefully you learned what to do and what to avoid by example here. Like I said, if you haven't followed the channel much, I do a lot of these videos, a lot of mods and maintenance and stuff. So like, subscribe, so to follow along, keep up with those. Comment in the comment section about how good or bad of a job you think I did, or how you would have done better, because there's a lot of room to do better here. So okay, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.